just myself. And I finally get to help support my family, especially my two younger sisters.
Yeah, it's so great to know that we're making a difference, helping the men overseas, helping them tell the time no matter the hour.
But have you guys seen the new paint that you're using? I used it as nail polish and it's glowing. I showed it to my boyfriend and he was so impressed. Like, look at it.
Little did they know that their lives would soon take a dark turn.
In the late 1910s and early 1920s, the hot new gadget was a wristwatch with a glow-in-the-dark dial. One of the places where they were produced was at the Radium Corporation factory, which experienced an increase in demand for watches after the First World War, where they had been used to coordinate attacks. To turn a profit, they hired women at low wages to work 7 days a week. The company called for women with nimble fingers to paint the dials and numbers onto watches in an assembly line fashion. Welcome, girls. I'm very pleased to announce that we have delivered another big shipment to the boys across the sea. I'm very proud of you, but I cannot have you slacking. You have to earn your 5 cents per watch. I expect all of you to use the lip pointing method that we taught you during your training. After each dial, you must put the tip of the paintbrush between your teeth to sharpen it. Also, not to worry if you swallow any radium. It'll make your cheeks rosy.
The girls not only used the paint to paint watches, but also their hair, nails, and even teeth. However, every time they came in contact with the paint, they were ingesting something no living being ever should: radium.
Radium is a rare, brilliant white luminescent, meaning it gives off radiation that can be seen in the dark, and highly radioactive metallic element. The name comes from the Latin word radius, meaning ray. It was discovered a few days before the Christmas of 1898 by Marie and Pierre Curie, who had brought it laboriously to light in their ramshackle laboratory in Paris. According to David Dauberpool, there are 25 known isotopes of radium, only 4 of which are found naturally in very small amounts. And all of them are radioactive, meaning that their atoms break apart and give off energy transmitted in the form of electromagnetic waves or subatomic particles.
Radium's half-life, meaning the time needed for the radioactivity to fall to half its original value, is 1600 years. When it breaks down, it releases both radon and alpha particles, which are a bundle of 2 neutrons plus 2 protons. These isotopes can cause a lot of damage if ingested.
According to Deborah Bloom, because radium is chemically similar to calcium, instead of passing through the body in a day or two, which would limit the amount of harm it causes, it accumulates in the bones, where the alpha particles this isotope gives off destroy the surrounding bone marrow, blood cells, and other tissue. The girls of the factory, later known as the Radium Girls, were not exempt from this effect.
You know, I haven't been feeling very well this past month. At first I thought it was just tired, but now...
Yeah, I know how you feel. My hip has just been killing me. Oh, and also, Lucy went to the dentist yesterday, and instead of pulling out her tooth, he pulled out her entire jaw.
I'm getting seriously concerned. Do you think it's because of the paint? I mean, this job is the only thing we all have in common.
I think we're being poisoned.
Yes, indeed, folks, they were poisoned. You see, their paint was made of zinc sulfide mixed with a radium salt to yield a paint that could glow in the dark due to its radioactivity.
It has been estimated that a dial painter would ingest a few hundred to a few thousand microcuries of radium per year. While most of the ingested radium would pass through the body, some of it would be absorbed and begin to accumulate in the skeleton. This is why their bones began to break and their teeth fell out, as their bones had become porous and brittle due to the damage caused by gamma radiation and alpha particles.
Even after discontinuing the use, many still suffered because even if they did not consume enough to cause the damage needed to make their teeth fall out, the radiation could still easily affect the DNA in their cells, leading to various cancers even several years after exposure. While the exact number is unknown, many perished due to radium poisoning. During this period of time, radium was used for more than just painting clock dials. Adding radium to anything somehow made it better. The luminous metal was used in household products such as lipstick, chocolate, and medicines. Radium was put into chicken feeds with the hope the eggs would self incubate or at least self cook.
However, attitudes changed after 5 of the Radium Girls filed lawsuits against the Radium Company in 1927, and after a very public trial, U.S. Radium settled, and each of them received $10,000 plus $600 each year they were alive, along with coverage for all hospital and legal expenses. They all died within a short few years. Due to the sacrifices of these women, they set a precedent in case law for the right of the individual worker to sue their employers for damages in labor abuse. Furthermore, it made it easier for workers to receive compensation for occupational disease and extended the time during which workers could discover disease and make claims.
Also, the very public display of the negative effects of radium drastically decreased the use of other radium products.
Better safety regulations have certainly saved the lives of many Radium Girls and other civilians unaware of the disastrous effects of radium. After the truth behind radium poisoning was discovered, U.S. Radium continued making materials using radium paint for the Army. But after the new worker safety laws were introduced, the number of factory workers suffering from radium sickness at their plant starkly decreased. Today, the use of radium is extremely limited due to new alternatives. In fact, according to David Newton, no more than 2 kilograms of radium is produced each year. The small amount of radium that is available is used for medical purposes, as it is used to produce radon gas, which, in turn, is used to treat cancer.
But still, even today, whenever new chemicals, medicines, or products come onto the market, we should be careful, never underestimate the consequences, and prioritize safety over profit. After all, losing your jaw is no laughing matter.